A supposed sports website called Deadspin, which is owned by a media conglomerate that operates a bunch of different garbage leftist sites, including Jezebel, the feminist blog, and The Root, a black culture anti-white website, published this garbage article defaming a 10-year-old boy who was at an NFL game over the weekend, titled, "The NFL needs to speak out against this Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface and Native American headdress." And notice the entire idiocy of their article is based off of a profile view, a side view of the boy. Just keep that in mind. We'll get back to that in a moment, where this lunatic writes, "It takes a lot to disrespect two groups of people at once, but on Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas, a Kansas City Chief fan found a way to hate black people and Native Americans at the same time." It goes on, the image of the Chiefs fan, again, it's a 10-year-old boy, in blackface, wearing a Native headdress during a road game leads to so many unanswered questions. It sure does. How on earth can you manage to get through life with this level of black fragility? Of course, it was written by a black man. We'll get back to him in a moment. Why did the camera person, that's very politically correct, not the cameraman, why did the camera person give this fan attention? Why did the producer allow that camera angle to be aired at all? The answer to all those questions lead back to the NFL. While it isn't the league's responsibility to stop racism and hate from being taught in the home, they are a league that has relentlessly participated in prejudice. If the NFL had outlawed the chop, the tomahawk chop, he's afraid to even say what it is, at Chiefs games, and had been more aggressive in changing the team's name, then we wouldn't be here. Actually, sir, if you weren't such a deranged lunatic suffering from black fragility, we wouldn't be here, because this is how the kid actually came to the game, with his face painted in the team's colors. The supposed journalist responded to being roasted over on Twitter, doubling down, saying, "For the idiots and momentions who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I could make the argument that that makes it even worse." Of course, he shut off the replies, which you can do on X, formerly known as Twitter, so that only people who you tag in a post can actually respond because, well, he didn't want to get further roasted. But thankfully, Community Notes stepped in for the win. That's the crowdsourced fact-checking system, which has its flaws, but is overall pretty accurate. And they added this much-needed context, saying the picture on the article is misleading. Other pictures of the child in question show that the other half of his face is painted red, black and red being the team's colors. And Elon Musk even chimed in, saying, "Another Community Note win exposing deception, because he too is sick and tired of the systemic anti-whiteism." And to help out, I posted a reply to the Deadspin post, which does allow replies, unlike the clown who wrote the article, by adding my definition of black fragility, which I describe as discomfort and defensiveness on the part of some black people who live in a predominantly white culture due to fixating on long since past injustices, which they never experienced and weren't experienced by anyone in their family life today, causing them to imagine racism where none exists and pine away for living in a culture that is predominantly black instead. Deadspin is the same website that had a bunch of staffers resign a few years ago, and a top editor was fired because he was such an idiot that when the higher-ups demanded that the sports website write about sports instead of just complaining about Donald Trump every day, the editor then resisted and then posted a bunch of political articles that had absolutely nothing to do with sports, and so they fired him. And this same black fragility nonsense gets recycled in the media every year or two. Remember digital blackface from like 2017 when a bunch of idiots started complaining about white people using animated GIFs of black people, clips from funny movies and shows as reaction GIFs? And so they said, that's digital blackface. White people aren't allowed to post memes of black people. And so this is from CNN. They recycled it years later. This is actually from earlier this year. What's digital blackface? And why is it wrong when white people use it? It's a practice where white people co-opt. Hey, at least they capitalized the word white, though. Look at that. That is a miracle. when white people co-opt online expressions of black imagery, slang, catchphrases, or culture to convey comic relief or express emotions. Not supposed to find black people funny now. Would you talk about Willis? And here's another gem from Vice News that I somehow missed all these years. It just started recirculating again. I don't know how I missed this when it was first published. I guess because there's just so much anti-whiteism being spewed by the mainstream media. You just can't catch it all. Vice, of course, is a literal George Soros-funded supposed news site. He bailed them out after they completely wasted all their money and gave them another 350, actually I think it was actually $400 million to keep spewing their garbage like this. 100 ways white people can make life less frustrating for people of color. I mean, I know they hate us, but to come up with 100 things that they hate about us, that took some creativity. Number 1 on the list, just because you can't see racism around doesn't mean it's not happening. Don't rinse our culturally specific memes. They're ours. Go enjoy that weird one about the plums. Actually, speaking of memes, I made this one 3 years ago for Black Friday, back in 2020, shortly after the Summer of Love, the George Floyd riots. Black Friday, use promo code George Floyd and save 100%. And this got me suspended from Facebook, so you know that it's funny. And speaking of Black Friday, I have extended my Black Friday sale into the Cyber Monday sale, which has been extended through this whole week, but the promo code is different. The promo code is Trump Claus. And of course, the Trump Claus sweatshirt is back in stock. So order yours to be sure to get it in time for Christmas, because you have to wear it to Christmas dinner, because you know that's going to be fun. So order your Wanted for President Trump mugshot shirt, your Trump Claus sweatshirt, or any of my awesome designs. All available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Enter the promo code Trump Claus at the checkout this whole week to save 20% off, and check them out.